This ClarityLIMS feature video highlights the addition of user and client management to the ClarityLIMS interface. In ClarityLIMS 4.1, we have added user and client management to the Clarity interface. This interface allows for viewing, editing, and modifying users and clients. When you log into Clarity, if you have the proper permissions to modify and view users, you'll notice a new tab under the Configuration tab. This Users tab will allow me to see all of the users and all of the clients currently in my system. I can see each user as well as the role that they're assigned. As we can see here with the user Bob Jones, Bob is a member of the administrative lab and has all 4 roles in the ClarityLIMS interface. A user is defined as anyone who has access to the Clarity interface. These may be people within your lab or external collaborators that have access via the Collaborations interface. To add a new user, we'll simply click the Add User button. Once I click this button, I'm prompted to give the important information about this user. A name. I should associate this particular user with an account in my lab. And I want to give a valid email address. Fill out an appropriate username. Usernames are unique in ClarityLIMS. When I attempt to save this user, if this username has already been used, I'll be prompted to give a new unique name. Additionally, I want to assign the roles that this user will have. These roles drive the permissions and the access level that this user has to ClarityLIMS. We'll talk more later about the addition of new roles and permissions. I would like Steve Jones to have full access to my ClarityLIMS system, so I'm going to give them all 4 roles. When I hit save, an email will be automatically sent to Steve Jones' email account with information about how to log in and how to set their password for ClarityLIMS. In future, if I need to resend this email or send reset instructions, I have the ability to do that directly from this interface. In addition to setting up a new user, I also have the ability to see the status of that user. The status of that user defines whether they can log in and interact with Clarity. For example, an active user can use their username and password to log in. However, perhaps they leave my lab or stop being a collaborator. I might want to archive that user so that I don't lose any history of the data they've collected or projects they've submitted, but I no longer want to allow them to log into ClarityLIMS. In addition to users, we also have clients. Clients differ from users in that they don't have access to log into Clarity, either through the main Clarity interface or through the Collaborations interface. Clients will be used to indicate the client of record on the project screen. These are generally external collaborators or customers who submit samples to my lab. Creating a client works very much like creating a user, with the main difference being clients do not have roles or permission to access the LIMS. Once I have my users and clients, I can view them, I can modify them, or I can send email updates as necessary. These users and clients are utilized on the Projects and Samples screen. When I'm creating a new project, I need to indicate who the client of record is for that particular project. As I create a new project, I'll be prompted to give a new project name. I'll be prompted to choose an account for which that project belongs to. And then the client box will be populated with all those users and clients that are part of that account. This allows me to indicate who the client of record is for this project in case I need to contact them over issues with the sample or to return data to them. Not only in ClarityLIMS 4.1 do I have the ability to configure new users and assign them new roles, I also have the ability to create new and custom roles in the LIMS. By default, ClarityLIMS comes with 4 user roles: collaborator, researcher, facility administrator, and system administrator. And each one of those roles has a defined set of permissions. New in 4.1 is the ability to expand those roles and create new ones. In my example, we can see the certain set of permissions that are assigned to my system admin role, as well as my researcher role. In my lab, I have an additional role of sample receiving. These lab members are responsible for receipt of samples when they're delivered to my lab, creating the projects, and submitting those samples. However, they do not have the ability to assign workflows or to perform any work inside Clarity LIMS. So I'd want to customize that role. I would take the same permissions that my researcher role has, create a new role called sample receiving, but remove the ability to assign a workflow, thus allowing this group to have a very specific and custom set of permissions. This Clarity LIMS feature video has highlighted the new functionality in Clarity LIMS 4.1 about client and user management. For more information, please visit our website.